Hello and welcome back to the channel of Delusional Theories. My name is Joe and today we will be talking about the absolute ewness of the Buccaneers episode 4. I know what you're asking, girl. What the hell are you talking about? What ewness? The fact that I spent half of the episode saying ew, ew, ew. Half of the episode. First ewness instance. Bad boy douchebag Theo. I cannot stand Theo right now. I can't stand him. He's so goddamn annoying. And the way that the show introduced it brilliantly from the beginning by having him dance around, trying to find his groove back, trying to overcome the fact that his Duchess just left him for his best friend and ran away to meet him in Italy. And he does this by dancing in his room. But the little detail that I loved was when the maid was just waiting outside, acting like she was furniture, trying not to disturb him. And as soon as he passed by her, he also acted like she was furniture. And he took a toast and he left and she stayed there, furniture. Douchebag Theo annoys me to no hell. And I spent the whole episode being like, ew. Ew. This episode, there are two main clusters of drama and one side cluster of drama. Main cluster of drama is between Theo, Lizzie, and Hector. I learned this name, Hector. And the other main cluster of drama is between Nan, Guy, Ginny, and James. And I'm just gonna say this, and I will discuss the second cluster in a bit. The majority of the episode, as the other episodes in the Buccaneers usually are, is quite unrealistic. It's very romantic and fantasized and all this kind of stuff. It's cute, sometimes a little annoying, sometimes a little ew, but it's very unrealistic in a good way. In a way we all enjoy. However, I don't know who the hell was in that writer's room when they wrote James and when they wrote Lizzie and when they, not Lizzie, Genie, and when they wrote James and Genie's relationship, but well goddamn done. In case you didn't know this, I have a master's degree in psychology and I used to work for years with victims of DV. And the portrayal of that abusive relationship is so good. Yes, women often leave when they start seeing a threat to their children. Yes, it can happen that the abusers, go after them. And yes, when they go after them, they are not mean. They are not aggressive. They are angels on earth because that's how they get them back. This is called the honeymoon phase of the cycle of DV. And what happens is after a major incident, which was I don't remember what happened, but I think something serious happened when Genie left James. After a major incident, either there's a break, a separation, or just a stop to the violence, and they enter the honeymoon phase, where the aggressor, the offender, starts apologizing profusely, starts offering gifts, making a lot of promises, saying they will never do it again, planning a new future. And often they believe him. The victims believe him. And it is well studied at this point that the majority of victims will need a few attempts to leave the relationship before they leave it for good. So oftentimes they will leave it and then come back and then leave it and come back. This is something that frustrates the family, the friends, anyone who supports them. And it's one of the things that is ingrained into us when we're going to work in that field. You as a professional don't have the right to be frustrated. You're there to help them. This is part of the cycle. Is expected. It's like addiction, the relapse is expected and you just work with it. So the way they portray that whole situation is so well done. I am impressed by the writers of this show because even him, because you wouldn't expect him to leave. You would expect him to take the child and leave her there. But no, this is how offenders work because they need to reestablish trust in their victims so they can't be aggressive during the honeymoon phase. And no, offenders don't know what the honeymoon phase is. It's just instinctive to them. It's how they behave. They know that they have to get their trust back. And in the beginning, the cycle is very spread out. The increase of violence lasts a long time. In her case, it lasted, I think, months, maybe a couple of years. I don't remember. And then there's the violence starts, aggravating until it gets to a point where it's like too much and she has to leave, or there's a break, or it stops or something. And then the honeymoon phase, the first like round of the cycle is usually quite long, but then it returns to aggression, as soon as Genie returns to England, which I think she will because we've seen it in the trailer. As soon as Genie returns to England with him, a few weeks, months later, he will start having certain behaviors again. It will start very, very small and escalate over time until there's a major incident again, either against her or against the child, and she will think of leaving again, or that the violence will stop for a little bit and he will apologize a lot and offer gifts and whatever, and then it'll restart again. And every time it restarts, the cycle becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. Every time it restarts, the violence becomes worse and the honeymoon phase becomes shorter until it gets to a point where, well, it depends on the situation. Sometimes they stay for decades, sometimes he offs them. So just that note, because I don't know if everyone who's watching this has the experience or the knowledge to like understand how well done it is very well done. Just so you know, like if you ever experience this in your life or have this or are like witnessing this in someone else's life and you see this kind of behavior, you see this like this aggressive person all of a sudden being very kind and going back to the person that they were when you first met him, this is not real. And if you take nothing else from my review, take this. This phase is not real. It's cyclic and it will go back to the violence again. And if you have to go through the cycle once or twice to believe it, fine, just do not stay. The honeymoon phase is not real. It never lasts. That person was never good to begin with. They are a manipulator and they are going to try to manipulate you into staying by closing off your relationships, by isolating you and by making you believe they are worthless and no one could ever love you or help you. Do not believe him. He's lying. You are a human being and you deserve to be treated well. This got a little bit too serious, but there's an opportunity here, so Anyway, going back to reviewing this silly romance. It's never not a good opportunity to discuss those cycles of DV. If you ever find yourself in that situation or know someone who finds themselves in that situation, now you know, it is not real. Do not believe the apology. Do not believe the little bit times that it changes because it won't last forever. Anyway, last note, it is not your responsibility to take care of him or to help him get better. It is not your responsibility. When you met him, you didn't choose him for his violence. You chose him for the little sweet part of him that he showed you at the beginning. Please remember that. It is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to be safe and with a person who cares about you and treats you well. Anyway, I'm over now. I'm done now. Like, you guys wouldn't believe the amount of horrendous situations I've witnessed. One time I was talking with a victim who was highly educated. She was doing a PhD at the university. She was incredibly smart, incredibly capable. She had an amazing network, social and familial network of people around her. And in the little session that I was talking to her, I said one thing because she was just mimicking the words that he would say to her about how she's worthless and she can't do this and can't do that. And the only thing I told her is that she has value as a human being, independent of whether or not she can cook the rice right. And she burst into tears. She did not know that about herself. For years, she was told that she had no value, and she just started to believing it, because if that's all you hear, you believe it. And then you're more vulnerable to other types of violence. She burst into tears just from me stating the fact that as a human being, she has value and deserves respect. That's how deep this manipulation goes. Do not fall for it. Please ask for help. Anyway, this is still a review of the Buccaneers. It was well done, you guys. So I needed you to know that. But yeah, let's just get over with that part of it. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Genie feels like a bit of an imposition to Nan and Guy, because at this point, I think she's feeling like she has kind of hindered the relationship. She's the reason why they're not together and whatever. And this is not true. James is the reason why this had to happen. None of this is Ginny's fault, but she doesn't know that. She's feeling to blame for all of this mess in these people's lives. And just, she doesn't want to talk to Nan about it, because she's feeling like an imposition, and she feels like if she talks to Nan about it, she's going to feel like an even more of an imposition to them. She's going to screw their lives even more. So she goes back to goddamn James. That was so well done. But I want to talk about Nan and Guy as well, because when Nan came back and the vibes weren't there between Nan and Guy, like, I understand they were months apart, but they were months apart pining over each other for all of those months. I was like, come on, get your vibe together, get your vibe right. And they went to get their vibe right at a wedding. I mean, I was having so much fun at the wedding, and then you cut to goddamn monster James. Ugh. But everything was fine in Nan and Guy's world. But these little two petty bitches, I swear to you, when Nan returned and she was jealous of her sister, insane. When Nan was telling Guy that she had to go back to England to make sure that her sister could return home safely, and Guy was upset, insane. Honestly, Guy was right about Nan, but it also applies to him. Two spoiled little brats. Like, can you not understand the bigger picture of the situation? Guy and Nan? Jesus. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Nan is going to find a way. They're going to return. We see it in the trailer. Guy goes back to England, and yeah. But about about Theo and Lizzie and Hector and Hector. Listen, the whole episode, every time Theo spoke, he was like, oh, ew, Theo, ew. And because I was all down for the situation of Theo is with Nan because they have to be to protect Genie, but then eventually they will come back for some reason, and Theo will be with Lizzie on the background, and Nan will be with Guy on the background. I was all for it, but now that we have douche Theo, I don't want him anywhere, Lizzie. And you know he's being an asshole, because this is when she fell for James as well. She fell for asshole James, and now she's falling for asshole Theo. Actually, she didn't fall for asshole James. She fell for nice James, and then James revealed himself to be an asshole. But now that she's falling for Theo, I'm thinking, girl, is your type psychopaths? Is your type douchebags? I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about it. I hate it. Especially because Hector actually seems like a decent guy. I mean, he has an ego. He's a guy. But he seems decent. And, well, I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't think it was that well done. Because when Theo appears at the auction, and he basically just went there to swing his big dick around, not his actual, the money, all the money that he has is what I mean, to swing his power around, to show that he can buy all the pretty vases, and he doesn't even need them, because then he can offer them to whoever wanted them, who didn't really want them. They were just having fun. Honoria was just having fun. All those rich people don't actually want the goddamn vases. They're just there, distributing wealth to other rich people. I know this was an auction to benefit the common people. Don't. But he just went there, swinging his power around, making sure that Hector knew who was the guy with the big money. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Hector picked up on what happened when Lizzie was gasping for air and told her she had just been talking to Theo. I feel like Hector understood what was going on. But I didn't like the way that Theo showed up there, like basically in his douchebag era. And then as soon as he was walking towards them with a little glass of wine or whatever the hell liquor there was, Lizzie clocked him. Baby, her instincts were there even before she was, because she didn't like that. She realized he was in douchebag era. But later on, the instincts just evaporated when she was in bed with him. He was almost sweating. It evaporated her instincts. Guys, I'm in such a good mood today because I've been writing so much. Like, I had to put a couple of short stories like on a break because I finished like drafts on both of them, and I thought, okay, they have to breathe before I come back to them. And I've been coming back to them in the past few days, so my mood is amazing. But anyway, her instinct evaporated. And the way that she first kissed him, the way that she first got there, I was, maybe it's because I've been writing a lot and reading a lot more that I can, spot bullshit plots when I see them. But the way that Lizzie got to the point where she was fighting with Theo before they kiss was stupid, because how it happened was through a fight between Hector and Lizzie, where Hector was like, oh my god, Theo is stealing my moment. The way that I'm using this as if it's my hand, stealing my moment. I'm not even gonna cut this. Now it's a wand. Anyway, they were fighting because Theo was stealing Hector's moment, and Lizzie was like, you little man, really? And then she stormed off. And Theo, this was the excuse, because Theo cares so much about her. He cares so much that he's always stalking her. So he went after her, and they fought, and then they kissed, and it's like, couldn't this have happened any other way? We have to see a fake, boring-ass fight between Hector and Lizzie. And I mean, Lizzie didn't even defend Theo when she was talking to him, like she defended him to Hector. But yeah, they get through it, they get together, and well, it's a steamy scene at the end. Honestly, throughout this entire episode, the only two couples that I enjoyed were Mabel and Honoria. They were cute as hell, as always, and the old people. Seeing the old people smashing pumpkins, it brought light to my eyes, to my soul. I want to be an old person. Yeah, an old person who smashes pumpkins. Like, this is what I keep telling everyone. I'm going to be such a great old lady. I'm going to be a perfect old lady because I don't have a problem with being old. Like, I'm very old right now. You don't know this, but recently I turned 29. Happy birthday to me. I'm very old. And the older I get, the funner I get. Like, it just gets better. And you don't remember. I said this a long time ago. But I used to live in Cyprus. And when I lived in Cyprus, I interviewed a pole dancing instructor. She had a pole dancing studio, and she gave classes to women between the ages of like girls, 15 years old, and then like 55, 60 years old. Yes, there are 60-year-old women doing pole dancing. And I asked her, which of them, like what age range do you think enjoys this the most and has the most fun? Without missing a beat, she said the 55-year-olds. They're too old to have complexes with their bodies. They have absolutely no aspirations of doing anything professionally. They don't care if their bodies, looks good or bad. They're just there to have fun. That's how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be so fun when I'm old. Like, when I'm 50, this is, by the way, you don't know this, but now you do. I don't know why I'm going on such like side quest rants, but this is my goal for turning 50, is joining a pole dancing studio. And I'm gonna have so much fun with that shit. Just you wait. I will still be here. Maybe. But yeah, I love the old people. I loved Honoria and Mabel. I like the way the little plot line of Conchita finding Mabel a husband is kind of brewing, because we know from the trailer that there's going to be a scene where Mabel comes clean about her sexual orientation and about her relationship with Honoria to the girls. And it's probably going to be like next episode or in a couple of episodes when Conchita and maybe Mabel's mom insists on her finding a partner, where Mabel is going to be like, okay, I can't, and this is why. And then she's going to kiss Honoria. And I hope I am correct that Conchita and Richard are just going to find her a gay man. A gay suitor. This is what I've been talking about for a while. This is what I want. I want her to, because there has to be. Statistically, There has to be. And there has to be one that is like open enough that they can find out. There have to be rumors, you know? I think this is like a little bit before Oscar Wilde's time. There has to be rumors. So I hope this is what happens, that they find, they make an arranged lavender marriage for Mabel and Honoria. Maybe gay brothers. Two gay brothers. How about that? But yeah, I guess this is my review for the Buccaneers. A lot of side quests in it, but also a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, where is little mister? I want to see mom again. Where is she? Anyway, guys, I will see you tomorrow with Criminal Minds Evolution Season 18 finale. Who do you think is a disciple? I hope it's Tyler. It's not going to be Tyler. If it's Dr. Oshawa, it's going to be predictable, but still okay. If it's someone we haven't met, violence. Violence on the Criminal Minds team. Anyway, I'll see you then. Bye.